in the digital ecosystem, maintaining a competitive edge becomes extremely crucial.
Brand, they no longer can just kind of stick to one medium. They essentially have to kind of look at the very healthy media mix.
We've seen immense success with clients being able to drive performance and grow on scale as well. And it's actually got us also talking to clients and agencies alike to understand what is it that is benefiting them so that we can hear from them as well. And one thing that we've seen is in the digital ecosystem, maintaining a competitive edge becomes extremely crucial. And as we deep dive into, the perspective from their end, what they come to see or what we come to see is having access to technology-led marketing resources as well as platforms, having the awareness how to utilize it is one very important fact. And the second is understanding the cultural and regional nuances, right? So that you can reach out and communicate to the users or your prospective customers becomes extremely important. Now, the first part is definitely taken care of by the Microsoft advertising platform, which in its full power provides brands with every ability to target the right user at the right time using the right tools. And where Microsoft comes in with AI and technology in the advertising segment, InMobi in regions like India and Southeast Asia with almost a decade of experience is able to help service clients with that regional understanding, provide them the inputs that is required to target the right user, provide a regional and local language related insights. That becomes extremely crucial to target the right user. In addition to that, through the partnership, InMobi is also able to service as well as train the clients to access the technology in the right way. We've seen that become extremely important and provide the ability for brands and digital marketeers to leverage the platform by themselves as well once they are made well aware of how to utilize the platforms.
Well said, Aditya. Actually, in fact, if I have to kind of talk about this partnership and how it has worked out, I think it's worked out very well. If people kind of think about Microsoft as a brand, it's a very well-known brand across the globally. Now, but when it comes to Microsoft advertising, I think that is where I think we had a challenge. And we realized that there was not enough knowledge about what Microsoft advertising products and services looks like in the region. So while Microsoft has been building all the products and basically with the AI infused tech, while Microsoft continues to build, I think InMobi has been a very good partner and they have taken it to the market and, we're just kind of, this whole partnership is kind of working out quite well.
With everything that's happening with Microsoft in the current scheme of things, right? Generative AI, AI's integration with Bing, the whole launch of new Bing and the AI-powered Copilot, it actually takes me a step back to understand how search used to be. I've been in the search ecosystem, I think, since 2010. And even till, I think, last 6 months back, search was still very traditional. You put in a query, you'll get 11 links. As a user, you still have to click on those links, do your research and identify what you're looking for. And then here comes new Bing, the AI-powered Copilot, wherein you put in your query and AI, to the true term, becomes a Copilot and does all the research for you. It provides you the impeccable results by going through the World Wide Web and giving you what exactly you're looking for. And then not only that, you can actually continue chatting with AI in an immersive experience to follow through that chat, right? I think best to understand is with an example, and it's something that I've done many a times since I moved to Singapore. One of the examples was me looking for a 5-day itinerary to Vietnam, and I did the same on traditional search, and it gave me links of various partner sites and a couple of ads. And then I clicked in and had to do my research to understand what are the options available. And the second was doing the same search on New Bing, wherein I put in the query and it actually gave me a 5-day itinerary, which I could continue to engage with. In fact, because the AI-powered Copilot remembers your earlier search, I could actually say, hey, change Ho Chi Minh City. I don't want to visit that because I've been there before. And then it added in a couple of more days in Hanoi and gave me options of things I could do. I could actually go further and also search for hotels below $100, and it gave me options across each of the locations that it was suggesting. It actually gives you a day-by-day itinerary along with the hotel choices. And if brands utilize it right, not only can they start showcasing ads there in the form of multimedia ads, vertical ads, or even text ads, right? It encompasses two aspects together. One is enhancing user experience, and second is also ensuring that brands, in this case in the travel vertical, can leverage and target that user across their journey, right? From them looking for travel options all the way to looking for hotels is now captured on one UI. The other piece is as well, we're very much talking about search right now, but in the last few months, Microsoft has launched products all the way that can help with your branding goals, right to sales and re-engagement. And this is just the start. I'm seeing a lot more options coming in and a lot more developments happening as well.
In fact, when you talk about the whole the whole chat experience, I think for me, it almost felt too good. It was like having my own personal assistant do my job. I think that's one of my secret wishes, that I'll find somebody to do my shopping for me. And but in fact, just talking about like the example that you give, that you were able to use that, the whole experience conversation with you being to find your itinerary. I think I have done some. Another example that I can give from my end is that, when I was looking for basically a washing machine in a budget, I think, it really gave me the whole comparison prices, what could kind of fit my need. And on a personal note, I think, it even helped me do my daughter's homework. So I think, it really kind of all encompassing. In fact, just talking about the lieu of services and products that Microsoft kind of offers right now, I think currently, like, if you look at search, it's basically really at the very, it's a very performance-oriented kind of a product. I know people are looking at search because they are, also kind of just wanting to look at ROI. But I think, now we have introduced online video and connected TV. Essentially, kind of, give brands the option to look at products basically across the full funnel.
Yep.
So you could look at consideration, you could look at awareness, awareness and consideration, and then basically the whole conversion piece. And just to kind of talk about some specific products that we can kind of think of, I think dynamic search ads, responsive search ads, shopping campaign, and multimedia ads are some of the ads that we have in the making. I think as we speak, I think the idea is to make these products very intelligent so that they are able to kind of get that kind of efficiency for a campaign. Now, just talking about dynamic search ads per se, I think what it really does is that, it just kind of takes out the whole, like the laborious work in setting it up. Even if you don't even have to put your keywords. If you define your target and if you define your goals, the system will basically do the entire job for you. It'll set up the campaign. You don't even have to be an expert actually to kind of set your campaign there. So that's the kind of automation and intelligence that the system kind of really brings.
I just add on to that, right? With so many propositions coming into play across the funnel, automation becomes extremely key for brands to leverage their marketing goals with the right products. In fact, the recent launch of Performance Max takes care of that, wherein you can tap into the user across their journey while keeping the larger goal in mind. If you have a ROAS number, you take care of that and ensure that the campaign runs by itself. Be it a small brand or a large multinational, they all can leverage it and strategize, making it very easy for them to run their campaigns on a daily basis as well. And I'm sure it's just the start. We know that there are going to be a lot more propositions coming in, and excited to see what else we'll be seeing in the next coming days.
Absolutely. I think we're just getting started. I think there's a whole new world. I think we don't even know it could be 3D ads, immersive ads, digital people. I mean, so many things are really coming. So I think we probably will see how this whole thing pans out and what, maybe a year or 2 years from now. So when talk about sports events, it's pretty much rage at, globally. We talk about Southeast Asia as a region. I think, we all know that Formula One is a really big rage here. Similarly, when you talk about India, I think cricket is almost a religion there. And I think there are other sports like basketball, tennis, and, FIFA. I mean, that's basically, again, kind of widely, watched. Now, I think there is a report by Nielsen Sports specifically, and basically it says that, the consumer behavior has actually changed. While people are watching the sports on television, they're also basically doing multi-screening. They are kind of multi-timing. They are, while you're watching the whole live match, you're also kind of doing emailing. You're playing the online game. So essentially, what it tells us is that for a brand, they no longer can just kind of stick to one medium. They essentially have to kind of look at the very healthy media mix. They also have to kind of look at digital as the whole ecosystem, and kind of make sure that they're not putting all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And in fact, there was another very good insight that had come out of that, that what they're seeing in lately in general population, there is a 5% rise of this kind of a behavior, and people are kind of really multitasking, looking at multiple screens. And this trend was very peculiar and higher, actually 10% in Gen Z. And I think that's a big opportunity for a lot of brands and advertisers to kind of, look at that medium. And in fact, when we talk about the whole digital ecosystem also, it's important to note that, it's not just that search that kind of just makes sense. I think they also have to look at the full funnel, which is a display and native as the whole media mix, to kind of make sure that they kind of get a better efficiency out of the whole campaign. And I think there was one insight that kind of was released. It kind of said that when a brand does search versus into the full funnel, there was a 4 times uptick in the visitation rate. And if the brand is kind of doing again search, there's a 5 times uptick in the conversion versus if they went full funnel. So our idea is that, if the client is going full funnel, there's definitely they're getting better efficiency from the campaign.
Yeah, I think going through whatever you said, right? A couple of things that I completely agree upon is you mentioned that there's F1 in Southeast Asia, there's cricket in India, there's football, there is basketball, there's tennis. The unique piece that sports brings as an impact, right? Across regions, there are different audiences who are interested in different sports. And where I think Microsoft plays a really good role in terms of advertising is you have the bucket of in-market audiences where you can target users who are interested in each of these sports. So as a retail brand who is into, say, sportswear, they can actually target users during these sporting events based on the user's interest on that sports. And if there's omni-channel viewing while they're watching the sports, they'll be seeing similar content and ads on their devices as well, creating that beautiful journey. And this is me just talking sports oriented, right? But if you look at, say, F1 in Singapore or cricket in any part of India, or I think recently we also had some of the Premier League teams come in Singapore and play. What you are also witnessing is the heavy impact it has in other verticals. You will see travel pick up immediately. In fact, out of personal experience, I've seen when I was making work trips in Singapore, the hotel prices go up 4x right before F1. The flight tickets increase exponentially right before any cricket game in India. At the same time, I think whenever a brand comes into play, a sponsor for any of these events, right, we've seen adjacent results in searches increase. So if there is F1 in Singapore, you'd start seeing a lot more searches around Michelin and Mercedes and Ferraris, which come into play. And this is not just a bigger following of sports with regards to F1 or cricket in India, right? We see that happening everywhere. So when there's Tour de France happening in Europe, cycle sales are going to increase globally because people suddenly start seeing interest coming in there. And this impact is a lot more for Gen Z as compared to anyone else because they are so aware and they know of everything that's happening in the ecosystem. So I think brands have an opportunity to beautifully leverage the impact created by sports in marketing across verticals, not just in the sports vertical or, say, like I mentioned, travel. I think even for finance, we've actually seen one of our clients, HDFC, who's leveraged the biggest cricketing festival in India, which is IPL, beautifully, right? They are in the finance vertical. They were sponsors of IPL in the conventional sense. They also ensured that they follow that journey on digital as well. So anytime a user search for IPL or search for anything with regards to that or with reference to that, they started showcasing ads. Not only did that influence their brand recall and brand resonance, we've also seen that impact their end lead rates positively, because now you're capturing users who weren't searching for you. But what it ended up doing is it ended up ensuring that the fan base of the sports becomes their user base.
Yeah.
Right? It gives that beautiful opportunity for brands.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it sounds like a no-brainer, but I think similar trend was kind of seen when it came to sports accessories. Like, during the whole, the duration of the event, I think there's an uptick in the buying of the sports accessories. And I think there are a couple of very good insights kind of shared on the campaign setup, that the idea is that when the whole sports is on, I think the idea is to distribute your budget across the event and not just kind of keep it at the beginning or the end. And I think there's another very good insight about the how you set up a remarketing campaign, which is basically that, you start looking 30 days prior to the event and see who are the audiences that's coming on the website. And that could be a very effective remarketing campaign, driving more like efficiency for the brands.
Yep.
Festive season, I think, is a very, very important event for the publishers as well as for the advertiser. It is a season, whether it be Diwali in India or Hari Raya or Ramadan in the Southeast Asia region. I think most of the brands have planned their budget, and they kind of a little bit they plan extensively, because in their scheme of things they are also kind of looking and getting return on their ads. So I think it's also like a high pressure time for them. So I think definitely it's one of the, planning that they kind of do very well in advance.
Festival season being unmissable is not only in India or Southeast Asia, right? It's global. And with globalization, it's not just regional festivals that become important. Like say in India, it's Diwali. Like you correctly mentioned, in Southeast Asia and Singapore, it's going to be Hari Raya, it's going to be Chinese New Year. But the whole holiday season at the end of the year, with Christmas coming in, becomes a big place for brands to also leverage, right? We also have Black Friday, Singles Day sales, which go across regions. So it's a tricky situation for brands, because it comes into a situation where users have the highest purchasing power, but at the same time, competition is also going to be the highest. So leveraging AI becomes extremely crucial, so that you can tap into the right audience at the right time. At the same time, also going with scale, but with customization comes into play. In fact, one thing that brands need to understand is, unlike offline marketing or offline sales, digital sales or digital journey of the user is not impulse based in most times when it comes to festivities, because everyone wants a bargain. They start researching 30, 40 days in advance. If there is Black Friday coming in, or if there's Diwali sales or Chinese New Year sales coming in, 30 days previously, you'll already see searches rising around Chinese New Year sales or Diwali sales, because they are prepping, they are adding it to cart, which makes it, like you correctly mentioned, the users have to ensure that full funnel, brands have to ensure that full funnel marketing is taken care of. Because if a user's seen their product, what they're looking at, and added to cart, if you're not present through the journey, you're going to be beaten by competition. You're going to lose their eyeballs very soon. So festivities predominantly, I think, is extremely crucial. While we are at it in a marketing journey as digital marketeers from Jan all the way till October, I think October to December requires another energy to ensure that you're targeting the right users and creating a great story for brands and driving profitability at the end of the year.